And we have 20 seconds to lift off, 15 seconds to lift off. And you know what? We're just going to go ahead and lift off a little early. And here we go. Let's play some little Randy Newman. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it. The great Randy Newman. I think we'll kind of leave the rest of Randy Newman's political science for you guys to discover on your own. But it does seem like Randy Newman is on time yet again. How's everybody doing today? It's Taco Tuesday, and I am your somewhat savvy, politically minded host, Abby Kaufman. And it is a little after noontime, like seconds within noontime. And the first thing I want to do is apologize to you guys for yesterday. You guys did not get the full Abby Kaufman in any shape of the word. And I'll tell you why. It seems that on Sunday, about 6 o'clock or so, I decided to check my oil. And the dipstick was like just having the least little bit of oil showing on it, if any at all. So I flip out. I assume my car is completely out of oil. My oil light did flash earlier that day, but it had never done it before, and it did go off. So I said, well, geez, I'll add some oil, but I'll be really careful. I've got like a 5-quart jug of Pennzoil Ultra Platinum and about 2 quarts left from the last oil change and oil filter. So I start adding it cupful by cupful using a clean Starbucks large plastic cup. So, and I would check the oil level every now and then, and every few cupfuls, and it would never seem to rise. So I'm like, that seems a little odd. So I kept putting it in and kept checking it, and it never would go anywhere. So I'm like, geez, do I need more oil? At this point, I've got like 6 quarts into it, and it couldn't have been that low, right? Oh, excuse me. So I go to the nearest auto parts place that sells my Pennzoil, and I buy one, and I walk outside, and I'm like, maybe I ought to check the oil level since I've driven it a little bit. So I pop the hood and pull out the dipstick, and my heart stops. It's like inches above the full line. I mean, I'm nowhere near. It could have double the oil for all I knew. So I'm like, geez, what do I do? I know this is bad. So I call a guy that's worked on my car before, and it was like Sunday afternoon, and he just, there weren't a whole lot of options. The only option was really to, drain it and just go for the oil change from scratch. So it's Sunday afternoon, 7 o'clock. I'm in the AutoZone parking lot on 19th Street in Costa Mesa. So I had rented a storage space at a storage place at a facility on Harbor Boulevard. So I said, I'll just go over there and wait, because my real mechanic said, oh, come see me at 8 in the morning at my house. I'm like, okay. But I've got like my really nice guitar in there, and I don't want to, leave my car with my guitar in there. I don't want to like Uber back and forth or anything. So I decided to sit with the car all night Sunday night. And Monday morning comes, of course, you know how you sleep. So I'm at my mechanic, Cesar Macedo. Let's give a big shout out to Cesar. Anybody wants a really good mechanic, let me know. But you ought to give us a call anyway at 949-629-3820 and let us know what's going on in your world. So back to the story. So anyway, I get the oil changed, and I leave about 9 o'clock. I get to my secret research laboratory and looked at the it's low after 9 when I get there, and do a little bit of prep work, because you guys deserve the best. No unprepared host for you. So I do this, and then I stop and grab some stuff to make a sandwich with, and come to, yes, you guessed it, the secret undisclosed location. And about this time, I'm starting to feel a little, a little lightheaded just from the day and all that. So I come up and, run through what I'm going to open the show with. And I'm just tearing it up. It is the best intro I've done in my life, right? And all of a sudden I look up and I see the thing that says go live. I'm like, no. So this was like 20 minutes into it. So I've been saving up to, really charge hard yesterday. And I hit the button 20 minutes too late or so. So, I say you guys didn't get the full normie, which you may celebrate or you may mourn. I don't know. So let's see what else is going on today. And just as a general question for you guys. Oh, well, let's do some more of the local thank yous first. Let's give a shout out to JJ Galvez, an assembly, excuse me, a candidate out here. And you guys know how much I think of Ada Briseno, District 67. And you know how much I really think about Dr. Kelly Brown and Kara Stewart, first Costa Mesa City Council from districts 3 and 5, I think. Oh, sorry with those little scratchy. So yeah, so not only that, but so that was the car deal, and on top of that, it got really cold, and the temperature was kind of blowing. And I think your old host might have just gotten you know, a little sore throat out of the deal. But because it's you, we prepared to the nth degree. I have a vast area of topics I want to hit on with you, but more importantly, I want your vast area of problems to come my way. So give us a call, 949-629-3820, and let us set up the old Zoiper 5. You know how much I'm in love with Zoiper 5. Zoiper 5 and VoIP are what it takes, are what the real people use instead of Google Voice and all that. I was told Google and all that's really great with the free stuff, because it's just kind of free and simple. But for you loyal listeners out there, we went the whole way, and we actually got Zoiper 5. I think we might have actually gotten Zoiper 5 for for the low price of free. And in the broadcast and media world, what do they say? If it's free, it's me. So hang on a second. Let me reach over and grab the old coffee mug. All right. So now we can try to keep the old throat lubricated. Oh, so the other mistake yesterday was drinking my coffee before I came. Or not drinking it before I came, thinking I would save it. And it didn't, I started off dragging, and it got even worse. So, please, guys, I didn't mean it. It rarely happens, and of course, we'll make it up to you in the future. The more Abby, the better. All Abby, all the time. But let me just as a general proposition, while we're talking about this, like White House Correspondents' Dinner, assassination attempt. Is everybody still okay with tearing down the East Wing of the White House in the middle of the night? Did you wonder how and where and that should be okay, or is it just who done it? I think we kind of know that it's kind of a who done it. If my guy does it, it's okay. If your guy does it, it's capital murder, right? Yeah, if we do it, it's a mercy killing. If you do it, it's like a major bloodletting. So perspective is everything in this deal, and I'm just I guess when the guy gets and then it goes on to say that the guy who did that just so happened, I can't believe this, to have gotten a no bid contract at like double the projected price. How does that happen? I think it's like what Clark Construction or something like that out of Maryland. And yeah, who would have guessed? You help a president tear down part of the White House on the night, and lo and behold, you get a windfall the next day of, cost plus cost. You get 200% profit. You don't get 100% profit. You get 200% profit. And the orange, whatever you want to call them, who is AI personified, and by AI I mean absent intelligence. And I mean, are people just too scared to say anything? Is it like going off on like a mentally ill relative that you never know he's going to snap and explode and try to strangle you? That could well be the case. God only knows, but human beings do strange things under pressure. And would it really shock anybody if Trump tried to strangle like whoever told him that you suck? Oh, and then even though he can't read, he gets pictures. What if you told him like you sucked and here's pictures? I think he might just find a rage, and oh, how about this? When he did fly into the rage when the F-18 pilot went down in Iran, he was not so concerned, trust me, about the F-18 pilot as he was the way it looked on him. I mean, he took this as like a personal affront. How dare you get shot down? And by doing so, by getting shot down, what did that do? It proved that General Kane was right when he laid out the risks, pro and con. Well, I guess risks are only generally adverse. But yeah, told him straight up, we can lose people, we can lose tons of equipment that it's expensive to replace, by the way. And I gotta love, if it's for like somebody else and the country can pay for it, and like I said, doesn't Trump benefit in it? It's nothing but the finest. But if you want like food from SNAP, food stamps or little other assistance, heaven help you. The hypocrisy is just astounding, and it's daily. Now I'm going to give you a contrast with that. Let's look at some of the local politicians I've talked about. Ada Arsenio, Giovanni Galvez, JJ Galvez, Giovanni from the Orange County Young Democrats. He's running for, I think, Santa Ana City Council, Ward 6 maybe. And then, like I say, you've got Ada Arsenio, District 67, Kelly Brown and Kara Stewart, Costa Mesa 3 and 5. And if you look at these people and spend any time chatting, you'll know that they have integrity and honor, and that this is they are our candidates for a reason. I mean, they're really they left competent, capable behind a long time ago. These people are all just highly, highly talented, and I say, sometimes I think we're lucky as Democrats to have an embarrassment of riches in the Democrat department. The truth of the matter is that while we are, it doesn't mean a thing until until they're elected. And I think if you started out just looking at these 4 or 5 people on the local level, you'll see that it is possible to have politicians that have integrity. Of course, we all know that it's substantially more likely to be the Democrat that has the honor and integrity. And like I said, I'm going to vary away from that just a second. Now, there was something on the radio about the Republican Party agreeing or thinking to agree, debating. How about even debating is bad? Debating having the public pay for the $300-400 million ballroom because it's, for the president, it's a security deal and all that. So as bad as that is, on top of tearing down the East Wing in the middle of the night, and then one this monstrosity ballroom, you now want people you want the taxpayers to pay for it, which works out really well because if I'm not mistaken, you were kind of bragging about how all your buddies got together and chipped in, I don't know, a cool $400 million for this thing. And so if the question becomes, if the Republicans are trying to pawn this $400 million debt off on us taxpayers, then what happens to the $400 million that was already, in Trump's bank account? Do you think he gave him a refund? Yeah, I didn't think so. I mean, what do you do? I mean, do you just take your hat off to him and just laugh at him and laugh at his being a clown? Well, you really can't because he's taking everybody down with him. And if you had any idea what the rest of the world is saying or going through, well, if you have any idea what they're going through, give us a call and let us know at 949-638-20. But what I will tell you is that by looking at the Financial Times, DW, and Deutsche World TV, and France 24, and the BBC, and whatever you can kind of conjure up in the meantime, you'll get an idea that it's not exactly the way it's portrayed. And and that got back to the original question, wasn't it? When reality catches up with Trump, and this could be that, well, it'll be interesting. Will there be one person that tells him, or will there be a committee? You would have to think that nobody's stupid enough to do this on their own. But, every day you get surprised, don't you? So, yeah, there's going to be the day of recognition. And the question is, how does Trump handle it? And, and I'm going to tell you, you really don't wish a stroke on anybody. So we clearly, and those kind of things just, I'm sure people can induce them in some way. So please don't anybody, get any ideas. So yeah, does he have a stroke and just freak out right there? Does he try to strangle the person? Does he find this, 80-year-old man in rage and kind of trip and fall as he tries to take a step forward because he hadn't moved in, like 6 months? Inquiring minds want to know. But one of the more interesting things as of now is that on the New York Times today, on the front page, the picture was of King Charles and Camilla walking down the steps on, getting off the British Airways, whatever it was. And it was like a happy picture. And you rarely have a happy picture these days. I mean, where do you look for a happy picture? Nobody likes us. Things aren't exactly, what's that word? Copacetic. So let's try to keep that old throat lubricated for you. And you know what? It's my fault, entirely my fault. I keep, I don't drink, except sometimes for medicinal purposes. I will put a mini bottle of Irish whiskey in my coffee, just for my throat. I don't do it to enjoy it in any way, but I do it for my throat. And I really wish I would have done it today. I mean, it's a little afternoon time here on the West Coast, and I hope you're, like I said, I hope all's well where you are, and, New York or North Carolina, Asheville area. How about Waynesville, North Carolina? Let's give a big shout out to Waynesville. Waynesville is quite the motorcycle destination capital in the old North Kakalaki, like they call it. Let's see who else. Oh, is Wendy in? I'm listening from Sonoma. Hey, Wendy. And let's see who else we got. Oh, Jay and Tom in Palm Springs. Hey guys, what's shaking? And anyway, give us a call. Let us know what's bothering you. Has your what's been or did you do well enough that you just want to call in and smash the donate button? Yeah, how about that? If you did really, if there's something really bothering you, like whether it's gas or groceries or insurance or the outright cost of a car or rent, whatever it is, let me know what's stressing you right now, because the odds are it's not just stressing you, and and we need to harness this energy. So elect Democrats up and down. I don't care what the position is. It could be assistant to the assistant dog catcher. Okay, I mean, I don't mean just dog catcher. And I don't mean just the assistant dog catcher. I mean the assistant to the assistant dog catcher. That's how deep we need to get in here. And in California, the primary is June 2nd, guys. And it's Swalwell's. Uh, you know, I how do you minimize that stuff? It's really bad to force yourself on anyone in the first place. Number two, to force yourself on a woman who's, needless to say, you know, smaller in every way, and could never, I mean, she's just defenseless against this guy. So when you do that, it's just like really bad, and society's got to punish you. I mean, I'm not. What do you say if it was, your wife, your daughter, whatever it is? You'd certainly want the book thrown at them, and I don't think I'd be a whole lot different. I would, I could clearly forgive. I don't know if I could clearly forget. So, which was an excellent piece of political advice from Willie Brown, the former Speaker of the House in California, Mayor of San Francisco, political operative. I mean, the smoothest, most well dressed. God, he used to go to this place called Wilkes Bashford on Union Square in San Francisco. And I mean, Willie had the nicest Brioni suits. Oh, I mean, Willie was sharp. Willie was super intelligent. I mean, and Willie wrote out here, as he tells the story, 13 or 15 from Texas, from like a sharecropper family. And how do you not admire what he did? Ada Briseno's got not a similar story, but analogous. Her parents, fled from Nicaragua. Sandinistas and all that, and came here and they became American success stories. Ada worked at a hotel when she was younger. She organized the hotel workers and the unions. She gets it. She knows when you know what it is. Ada knows when people need help, and she knows how to help them. She's as genuine of a politician and a person as you'll ever meet. She and I'm going to tell you, I mentioned this yesterday, but it's worth repeating, that the Trump that she texted me the other day and says, I got this in my mailbox. I'm like, geez, I always want to see what's in your mailbox, right? Because your mailbox is undoubtedly more interesting than my mailbox. So it's a short video, AI photoshopped, Trump bought and paid for a little video that makes it out to be living the high life on the taxpayer dime or dollar, however you want to denominate it. And I'm going to tell you, I mean, it's laughable, and it's laughable and sad at the same time. It's laughable because because they're so afraid of Ada winning Assembly District 67 that they're pouring. I don't know. I heard what $500,000 to defeat Ada Briseno. I mean, and I'm going to tell you what he doesn't. What they really don't realize is that we love Ada. She makes things better. She gets things done. Um, how they expect any of this to land, I'll never know. But in the larger scheme of things, when you can't argue with someone on the merits, what do? Well, your fallback position is you start calling the other side names. He's a such such. She's a she's a queen on the taxpayer dime, whatever it is. And what's that? An attack on her character? It's not an attack on her stance against organizing or helping, or it's completely made up. And when I was a little boy, when you made things up, that was pretty much like, I think, what was they call it? A lie, maybe? And if you want to be a good citizen, you remember the story of George Washington. And when George was asked if he chopped down the cherry tree, what did they say? What did he say? I cannot tell a lie. I did chop down the cherry tree. Now, let's assume he was 7 or 9, or, let's assume he was less than 13. And George, call him George knew right from wrong. George knew lying from truth telling. And so this is, you would think this is something people learn fairly early on, like the difference. But when you start conflating everything as a certain orange tinted, absent intelligence subhuman occupies the presidential residence. God, doesn't that hurt to say that? I mean, as long as he's there, that's what we're dealing with. So, but anyway, I digress. I said, we love Ada. She gets us. We really don't. It's, running a negative campaign like that, we get it. And we know why you're doing it. We're going to beat the living daylights out of you guys. We have turnout. We have support. And you know why we have support, or why Ada has support? Ada has support because you can believe her. What says, how believable is she? Well, look at her track record. Does Ada Briseno have a history of telling the truth, representing others zealously? She does. Okay. Is that not, what is it, games set and match, or, whatever the kids do these days? So, don't think that if it's on a hyper-local level, that it's not connected to the bigger picture. And money is that connection to the bigger picture. I don't know, I couldn't imagine the exact numbers, but, I said to have, and, don't forget, there's PACs and super PACs and local PACs, and, God only knows, but the end result is the money is funneled to the candidate. Now, I think other countries might consider that like, attempted bribery or something, and I think you can certainly make the case for it. But Yeah, I don't really want to. I don't want to go there too quickly. Okay, and let's make it a little less bright for a second. Let's see what else is going on in the world. Oh, how about this? Front page of the New York Times today. Writing suggests gunman nursed a lot of grievances. Okay. Uh, okay. I think that's, I don't think that's really much beyond debate. I think he was, well, I think he was like slightly unhappy. I don't know, grievance might be a little strong, but he was slightly unhappy. And, political violence is wrong and all that. But even worse than political violence is people that profit by it by being hypocrites. The language that the orange tinted subhuman that is absent intelligence that's in the White House. What was I saying? Subhuman being that's in the White House just can't. Does he just not comprehend that his policies are are not well liked? Does he not get that a cajillion people can't eat? Does he get and if he does he care? I think the answer is no. I mean, he wants to keep remodeling the White House like he's not leaving, which is really scary. And guys, what would you think if a Democrat was doing that? Can you imagine the screaming and hollering the Republicans can do? And it's right about now that hypocrisy is, and the other side of that, credibility, is front and center. And no matter who tries to attack Ada's credibility, they in the end they can't. They can't say she's dishonest because people know better. The evidence proves otherwise. And I'm going to tell you, if you guys like the crime shows and all that, about evidence. It's that which shows. Might be show something good, might be show something bad, but it's evidence. And they call it evidence for a reason. Because it evidences behaviors or activities or, I guess rarely thoughts. But anyway, there's always evidence. Two candidates are running. Well, don't look at what they say so much. Look at what they do. Always consider the source. A wise person told me that a long time ago. Whatever the activity, always consider the source. And but yeah, so how about that? So we got, I guess, and I would hope, like I said, this, shooting people is never right or good or anything. But I would hope that to take some sort of extreme measure like that you would, have a grievance. I wouldn't do it, like over a minor, bad manner offense, like, oh, you bumped into me or whatever it is. I mean, I don't think it's necessary to kill somebody for that, but but when you do this kind of stuff, take away, like I said, people's ability to eat by the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. I mean, they lock kids up. It's just an atrocity every day, and it is overwhelming. Lunatics kind of are. I think short of like a Thorazine shot every day, that lunatics are a little difficult to deal with. And and just to show you how even smart people can be led astray. Also on the New York front page of the Times was an article about Sergey Brin, Google's co-founder, and his rightward drift in politics. And to make a long story even longer, I won't do that to you today, but to make a long story fairly short, the conclusion was that his new girlfriend led him on that path. And specifically, he was at a cocktail party, I think somewhere in Marin. I forgot. I mean, trust me, I would never know who these people, who the people are that hold these things. But supposedly, Bryn and Gavin Newsom were there, and Bryn, wants to talk to Newsom, kind of confidentially, and of course, Gavin, comes over, and Sergey makes it a point that to tell him that he's not a fan of the billionaire tax, and he's leaving California. And Newsom has never taken a stand on this one way or the other. Of course, after that, he came out against it. Um, but apparently, that's a thing up in like Palo Alto and Silicon Valley. I hope it ended in Berkeley yet. But yeah, can you imagine these guys drifting to the right with their money? And money is what? Power, influence, control, access. You know, I mean, he's not only is he a billionaire, he's a cajillionaire. I mean, these guys have eternal wealth, and just eternal wealth. And you know how much more they want? No matter what they have, they want just a little bit more. And it's with honest people in government like Ada and Kelly Brown and Kara Stewart and J.J. Galvez and Giovanni Chavez and lots of our candidates are first generation Americans. How cool is that? They've been fortunate enough to grow up with a system that that was the best in the world. They have seen it. They have some idea of where to go and how to get there. They know where True North is. True North is good schools, good parks, good quality of life for everybody. Pretty basic stuff. And and again, who's more likely to deliver? Is it and this kills me. The Republicans always get the perception of being great financial stewards, and the evidence is directly the opposite. Okay. The economy's done much better under Democrats and Republicans. Now, the question is, if that's a true statement, and it is, why isn't it believed? Well, it's a really sad thing, and the modern derivative came from one of Hitler's guys, and it was something like repeat it verbatim 3 times and it becomes the truth. So just like every other misperception, for instance, Trump being a successful businessman, and I guess he kind of is, because Trump was such a successful businessman. I had a Trump steak the other night with some Trump water, some Trump wine. And you know why? Because we were celebrating my graduation from Trump University. Yeah, and I made enough money to go to Trump University because I won money at his casino in New Jersey and helped put him out of business there. I mean, The Apprentice helped, and it rehabilitated his image that, and I think it's pretty well accepted now. They gave us a watered down version suitable for reality TV that people just, latched onto for whatever reason. I've never seen it. I can't imagine working for a lunatic. I mean, I've worked for some eccentric people, but never a lunatic. And to think that for X number of dollars, he got his name, in every town, everywhere. He got on the ballot. F me. Actually, F us, huh? Oh. So, guys, like I said, if you got something going on, if you're being hit by gas prices, if you, drive a lot, how about if you get truckers out there? I know you guys are taking the shorts. I paid almost $7 for gas for a gallon of premium this morning. So things are biting. So if things are kind of biting you in the behind or biting you in the wallet, give us a call, 949-629-3820, and let us know what's going on in your world. And on the other hand, if you're doing extremely well, give us a call at 949-629-3820 and smash the 11-day lights out of that PayPal donate button. Uh, you know, uh, the more the better. We appreciate everything. And moving right along, let's get back to that old New York Times. I told you about the ballroom builder and let's see, and Chemerinsky, uh, you know, an academic thing about the war being illegal. Yeah, right. What are you gonna do about it? See, that's the problem. Erwin Chemerinsky's the dean of UC Berkeley, and he's been dean of lots of law schools. Constitutional scholar and all that. And his deal was by the end of the week, the war will be illegal because it's past 60 days and Congress hadn't authorized it and so on and so forth. But you're back to the fundamental question you always are with Trump. It's, who's going to make me? Why are you doing this? Because I can. Well, stop doing it. Well, who's going to make me? Okay? That's not how a functioning society works, particularly when you're like the leader, when you're the president. The fact I'm shocked today that he has ratings even in the 30 percentile group. Who's been helped by his policies and who's been hurt? Look at the evidence. And I want to talk about something else. There's also evidence that joining your local Democratic club and being somewhat active helps get Democrats elected. And it helps that sense of community, and it's just a downright good thing to do. If you're so inclined, please join your local Democratic club. And I never advocate people going into debt for this kind of stuff. But I know these are, kind of tough times. And, sometimes even if you have to pay it off in 4 PayPal payments, whatever it is, this is important. This is like all hands on deck. I mean, the boat could go down. We're definitely, the way I see it is we're definitely swirling around the drain, and it's going to take a lot to, get us like out of the drain and floating again. Uh, the deficit keeps, against it all, you got interest rates. And let's say if people start dumping our bonds or not buying our bonds, which are up to $39 trillion. Thank you, Next Generation. That just keeps getting worse for the states. The fewer people buy your bonds, what do you have to do? Offer more interest to get somebody to buy your bonds. If let's say a steady country is, I don't know, 5%. What would an unstable country or a country that's perceived as unstable have to offer? 7%, 6%, 7.5%. And do you realize what kind of impact that has on $39 trillion? And I keep saying that every reputable economist told everybody what was going to happen. And in case you haven't felt it yet, I hope you can kind of see the general contours now. And if you see the general contours now, then you realize the importance of the 2026 election in November, as well as the primaries, and particularly the California primary on June 2nd. So we seem to keep alternating between the water and the coffee, and that's the best we can do right now. In the summertime, I'm sure they make something that you can put maybe a beer in. I mean, you wouldn't want, or maybe if there's a perfect world, it would hold like a liter, like almost, what that, almost two beers. Huh. Maybe I'm not paying enough attention to this Irish whiskey and the coffee thing. Maybe it really is the kind of thing that has a little more varied application than I first thought. Yeah, what if it's summertime? We had a little drinky winky as we chatted our way around the world. Okay, okay, that. Uh, oh, and there were some good editorials about Democrats not being overconfident. But the funny part for that article was who's that? Frank Bruni. What is Frank's? He said like he and Trump might not be Jesus, but he's certainly causing a resurrection. The problem is it's a resurrection of the Democratic Party. Uh, and there's I mean a lot could go wrong. People still don't really like us. I don't get why. Uh, truth about it is you can only do so much without holding the House, the Senate, or the presidency, or all three. And we really do need the trifecta. I mean, hasn't the Supreme Court taken us backwards enough? Hasn't Trump done enough damage? Uh, God only knows. And I'll tell you what, God may know. It's almost 12:46 here, Pacific Time, broadcasting from on the Democracy Radio Network. This is your host, Abby Kaufman. Asking you to give us a call, 949-629-3820, and let us know what's going on. But I am kind of curious. I'm sure you're hanging on the seat of your pants to know this. But how did that old stock market do today? And that how they always kind of judge things is, what did what did the market do? The market at 50,000. Well, I'm going to tell you what people don't realize is that the market can be irrational longer than you can stay liquid. So by the time you figure it out, you've been wiped out. So just thought I'd mention that in passing. Apparently we need to join the old network here. And I'm a pretty liberal guy, so we'll join the network. I wish people would join my network. And by giving us a call at 949-629-3820. And if you're having financial problems, give us a call. Let us know what's going on and why. And on the alternative, on the other hand, if things are going really great, check in and smash the 11 daylights out of that like button, out of that donate button. We certainly could stand a little, a little gratuity, I guess would be the best way to put it, or a big gratuity. We're not particular. I guess the bigger the gratuity, the better. This is America, land of the free, home of the brave. Okay, and so much for that. So maybe now we'll find out. God only knows. Huh. I've got a friend that used to do some stock car stuff, and sometimes the best you can hope for is like, come on, you worthless piece of human excrement, you. Huh. Yeah, how does stuff, and the reason the market doesn't go down, like you would expect it to do, is it's got, geez, hundreds of billions of dollars floating around these AI stocks, and as call them bets, call them investments, whatever you want to call them. There is a boatload of money in this. I mean, whoever has best one, could be a trillionaire really quickly. Imagine that, a trillionaire. I mean, that's more wealth than what half the planet put together. So, capitalism is not without its faults, and it clearly needs to be regulated. But more importantly, it depends on honest people running the game. Think about that. It depends on honest people running the game. Are there honest people running the game? I don't think so. You know what I mean? If these guys do it, trust me, it's crooked. Uh, so it's 10 minutes to one. We're coming to the close of our first hour, and Abby Kaufman here, your host on MoxieRadioNetwork.com. Give us a call at 949-629-3820 and let us know. Let us hear from you. Just whine away. We don't, we're here for you. As I take another drink. Oh, and you know what? Just to show you how kind of smart I am, I might have left a spoon handy because I brought a little sugar. How about that? A private collection. You see that? Private collection. Mini bunt cake. And now it was due to expire tomorrow. And it was originally the low price of $3.99. Anyway, see that? $3.99. But today, you see how that says the 29th. But you see this. And today is April 28th. So it is reduced, even though it looks like it's the same size. It's reduced down to $1.20. So you got your mini bundt cake, you got your chocolate, you got enough sugar to do whatever it is you want to do. So let's maybe we'll see what this mini bundt cake is like. Hopefully we have a spoon or something. Basic 50-50 probability, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe we do and maybe we don't. Oh, you know what? I bet I don't have it. I would really hate for that to be the case. Hang on, let's see what we got here. Oh, that is such a drag. I wonder how long. Huh. Does look kind of good, but we don't want to eat it here because there's a no eating rule in our secret undisclosed location. And because I kind of like using our secret undisclosed location on Newport Harbor in beautiful Newport Beach, California, we'll take a break in a little bit and actually try to eat this thing outside or something. But in the meantime, let's catch a little more Randy Newman. Let's drop the big one and pulverize them. Don't want to hurt no kangaroo. They got surfing too. Boom goes London, boom Paris. No room for you and no room for me in every town. Just be another American town. Oh, Italian dishes for me. Drop the big one now. Let's drop the big one now. Ladies and gentlemen, I was. You gotta do that again. I mean, that was Randy Newman. One of his, just uh, he's just a craftsman when it comes to songs. God, he's I guess more of an artist, but uh, very few people say more than Randy Newman, and nobody says it with fewer words and more eloquence than Randy Newman. So anyway, Randy, if you're listening up in LA, come on down and see us down in Newport. I'll take you sailing. How about that? Come on down. If Randy Newman comes down, I will take him sailing for the afternoon on beautiful Newport Harbor with a Harbor 20 or on a Harbor 20-foot sailboat. And I guarantee that Randy will have the time of his life. You get old Abby and a sailboat and a adult beverage and what's that? What do all those shows say on the script? Hilarity ensues. Yeah, let's ensue a little hilarity over adult beverage and a nice sailboat in the sun, huh? That's also applies to Mo Kelly. Was I had wanted to chat with Mo about something, and I was going to ask him for a recommendation, and I was going to ask him, Mo, assuming the best person for the job wasn't available, who would you want as your second best? Who would you take as second best? Uh, you know, and hear what he has to say. People like that have so much more experience than I do. I mean, I have like zero. I'm, we were lucky to ring this old Democracy Radio Network.com as a internet radio TV station that live streams on YouTube, by the way. So if you navigate your way to the web page and click live stream, you will see Abby Kaufman coming to you live and in color from his secret undisclosed location, because if it was disclosed, it might not be a secret anymore. From his secret and undisclosed location on Newport Harbor, Newport Beach, California, where it is Tuesday, April 29th, 29th or 28th? 28th, April 28th, 2026. And by the time we took a call from, who is this? Carl in Philadelphia. Carl, you're on the air with Abby Kaufman. What's going on, Carl? Huh. Are you from Bucks County? Yeah, Bucks County. So what's on your mind? Well, it's those damn gas prices. Well, what can I tell you? Didn't Trump tell you he'd bring prices down day one? Well, yeah, he told me he'd bring prices down day one. And what did he do? Did he bring prices down on day one? No, he didn't bring prices down on day one. So let's see. He said he would do one thing, and he said he would do another. Huh. Now, I am not a genius by any stretch of the imagination. But under those circumstances, don't you get a little curious? Don't you kind of doubt just a little bit? So I kind of think you do, but that's for you to deal with. Okay, guys, this is I keep digressing from the news of the day because I want you guys to have my point of view. And oh, by the way, talking about my point of view, there are so many places in Orange County that are having elections, city council, and we would invite anybody that's in the state of California that is a Democratic candidate, we would invite you to call in. My initial philosophy going in is any Democrat, anytime. We help everybody. Okay. So if you want to call in and let us know your talking points and who you are, and we'd love to chat with you. Okay. So let's see here. Oh, and the last thing from it was funny. This continues to the back page from the front page, and it's not funny at all. It's actually really sad. But so that within Rikers, video games are seen as an escape. Well, I think that if people are in prison like that, I think they ought to have like unlimited video games. I think they ought to have unlimited pot. And that way they could just get stoned and play video games and nobody would get hurt. They'd be too stoned to care about anything. Or you'd be happy playing your video game and escaping like that. I mean, the crew, the inmates would have to be a little easier to get along with. I mean, unlimited pot? I don't see the problem with that. Unlimited video games? Well, I mean, what could go wrong? Anybody have a thought on that? Let me know. 949-629-3820. And what would be wrong with a plan like that? What if in Rikers they had free unlimited video games and unlimited pot? I don't think you get like an angry, worked up crowd coming out of that place. I kind of like that. People are kind of sedated, kind of voluntarily. They ain't going anywhere. And the truth about it, those places, prisons are hellholes enough, and anything we could do to make it tolerable for people were convicted and they should be punished, but that doesn't mean in deplorable conditions with rats and all that. I remember the state prison in South Carolina didn't have windows until the 50s or 60s. Whatever was outside is whatever was inside. Can you imagine? I mean, those places were just they were cruel. And what's really frustrating is to see the current administration take the position that we are going to be cruel because we can be, for no other reason, just as a blatant show of power, show of force. Nobody's cool with that. Are we? Of course not. Prisons, certain things are always last to get money from taxpayers, and it's either prisons or teachers. And the truth of the matter is, I've got a theory on this. What if, again, the truth of the matter is it's just the scale at which we have to do things anymore. But what if each community had, like a real dedicated core school, same teachers year after year after year, same neighborhood, and just to, help kids develop consistently good habits over time. But now you've got, of course, organizations designed to, operate an alliance. And the truth of it is, as great as an idea as that is, it's not, the local, as a general population, any local district can't support their own school district and teacher salaries to the degree that the teacher salaries would need to be to get really good people year after year after year. When you think about, of course, I'm never here to advocate the hands of time be turned back. I hate thinking about the good old days like before aspirin and penicillin and all that. So let's be pretty clear. As bad as they are now, they also have promise as never before. And this is our time to shine. I mean, if there was ever a time for Democrats to show the empathy, the connect, and and the corruption and the disconnect. I mean, every time you or I might get a food stamp decrease, I think Trump kind of goes golfing again. I mean, the guy just doesn't. It just if it does, that Michael Cohen guy was right. If it doesn't affect Trump, he just doesn't care. How much is war? I don't care. How much does it cost to replace those bombs we've been, pretty liberal with? I don't care. How much does it cost to have your plane redone? I don't care. How much does it cost to have that cool new ballroom you want? I don't care. You, you guys are kind of getting the picture, aren't you? If it ain't his, he don't care. That means if it's ours, he don't care. And it's you he don't care about. Look at the evidence. Oh, so anyway, we have the mini chocolate bundt cake for the low price of $1.20. However, we don't have, or I might, I wonder if I do have. Let's check the old backpack. If I do have something to eat it with, that of course saves me a trip to the car and okay, well, that didn't start out very good. Ooh, maybe. Huh. All right, guys. Well, now we're in kind of a quandary. What I found was a broken spoon. See, the broken spoon. Now the question is, can I use that as a scoop? Which is like the central theme behind the spoon. So let's see here. It worked. Like you see, the hope is that by saving the sugar and the caffeine until I was actually on air and not saving it would increase the chances that you would get an energetic Abby Kaufman, the host of the Abby Kaufman Show, live and in color on the Democracy Radio Network. We are your home for Democrats, liberals, and progressive thinkers. Also, the birthplace of Massa. Make America sane again. Is that like too much to ask for? And the truth of the matter is, sanity, you can't get sanity when somebody's insane. matter of fact, I kind of think that's the very definition of insanity is not sane. They told us. They told everybody. Being the international guy that I am, let's move on over to the Financial Times. And Meta paid $2 billion for an app company in China called Manus. And it's an AI app. And it seems as though this displeases President Xi. And how would you know? Well, how about this? President Xi tells Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, to undo the $2 billion acquisition. And gosh, I've got a friend of mine who does merger and acquisition work. And you cannot imagine how long and structured and complicated these things are. And the president of China just says, no, undo it. And of course, they kind of undo it. How? She doesn't care. He just doesn't want the transaction consummated. So in the meantime, in the AI race, Zuckerberg's being stalled, which kind of in the long run means we're being stalled. Who are being stalled by? By China. Because they hate us. And they want to take us over. And they've got a willing idiot that's helping them. So if you're in China, or if you're anybody, why not pounce on us now? You got a lunatic in office, and the odds of him doing anything absolutely crazy, I don't know if they're so high. I'd like to think that people in the White House have the guardrails out, and as only because they've seen. That F-18 thing wasn't that long ago, and he had a president go nuts. Or demonstrate his nuttiness. We always kind of knew he's nuts. And, yeah, you can always count on the old Financial Times for more clarity and things. Okay. And to put this in perspective, so you've got Washington and Beijing fighting over AI, an AI app company, an artificial intelligence app company. And now let's see, if I'm not mistaken, Xi and Trump are supposed to meet in the pretty near future. Now, what do you think is on Xi's wish list that he would love from Trump? Well, how about to steal our technology? And you can rest assured that if Trump can find a way to accommodate him, he will. And I think that overall, Trump's campaign of retribution is actually retribution against 340 million Americans, because he's not going after just a few people here and there. He's going after the country that wronged him, in his opinion. He's going after the very country that did him wrong in his delusional, dumbass mind. So, it's like I saw off at the top of the show. It's bad enough to be delusional. And when you're a delusional dumbass, you just, things get worse by, exponentially. I always kind of like that word, exponentially. And you know what? It's 1:13 p.m. on the Pacific Coast as we sit here broadcasting from our undisclosed location on Newport Harbor, beautiful Newport Beach, California, and give us a call. Let us know what's going on in your world. You enjoying the sunshine today, or you oh, how you know what? Has anybody had really health insurance premiums just double or triple? We'd love to hear from you. We don't it's we have to let others know what they did to make sure they don't get voted for again. I'm still my initial position is wasn't January 6th enough? Like what plus January 6th did it take for you to realize that the guy's a lying grifter? Was it I'm just kind of curious how, what else did you need? It's like catching the murderer with the gun and the smoking gun. What other evidence do you need? The body's fresh, the bullets, hot, the gun is smoking, the person's there holding it. What else do you need? And when they call it smoking gun evidence, that's pretty much what they mean. Is somebody shoots somebody, and the cops or whoever walks in so soon, the gun is still smoking. There's been no time for, anything to be hidden or swept away or cleansed or whatever. Uh, oh gosh, guys, this is and again, while I'm calling out people or shouting out people, whatever the kids call it, I want to give yet another big shout out to Stormy Daniels. Say what you will about her. She is the salt of the earth. I say for better or worse. For adult actress, whatever it is. Well, and whatever people do, they do. So anyway, and I'm going to go back to the one of the trials, and Stormy's on the witness stand, and the attorney's asking like, what does his penis look like? Did it have any unusual characteristics? How was his performance in bed? What color underwear did he have on? So Stormy's answers these questions like, red underwear, penis looked a little funny, it's hooked to the left, whatever she said. And hooked to the left, and God, he sucked in bed. God, he's lousy, right? So, and Stormy's just telling what happened, in her, folksy kind of way. And so then it's time for Trump to get on the stand and refute the argument or refute the testimony that Stormy put forth. So, so how does Trump defend himself to red underwear, king to the left, and a lousy and bad? He argues against it by saying, "I never saw this woman before in my life. Not, oh, she was mistaken. Oh, it must have been. Oh, not, no, I couldn't have been me. I wasn't there. I was in Mar-a-Lago." I mean, but you can see what should be and what we get. Oh, you couldn't make it up, could you? Oh, gosh. So, guys, like I said, I don't know what these mini butt cake things are, but I will bet you they're pretty sugary. We're not really into that, but we did want to try to push hard because it is a little after 1:15 p.m. on Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. And oh, you know what? This afternoon at 4, we have Sound Lab time. We get to actually play guitar and make it snappy, sing a song, play guitar, make it snappy. Just thought we'd impart a little traffic knowledge to you there. And let's see. I completely understand how people need like a co-host. I can see where a few hours. I mean, you can do 2 hours by yourself, but it would be a whole lot easier if it was like two people doing 2 hours, or yeah, I think that this is kind of a social deal, and in all social deals, you got to see who makes out. But I cannot wait to play guitar again. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. We got the old login code. We got the old Avery Torsen chat. So we got yeah. Come on. What okay, we got a domain canceling, that's good. We'll cancel that. And let's check the old Google update, something or other. And we'll never know what that means, so let's do that. And we got to remember to get that old prescription from Walgreens. I said we get to play today. All right, guys. So we have not much in the email department going on. We've kind of got everything worried to take care of itself. I'm dying to hear back from some of these schools. Now, you know what? I wonder what are the top 10 college radio stations in the USA? Huh. We may just have to go into that. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? It'd be another way of doing it. Maybe we'd do Chapman. Well, I don't know. We'll kind of see what they are. Well, we'll ask for the top 10 in California. In California, how about that? Let's see who they are. Let's see. We have Cal Poly, Berkeley, Cal State Long Beach, Cal Poly SLO, Cal State Long Beach, UC Berkeley, I mentioned, Santa Monica College with KCRW, they're pretty big. Pomona College, UC Davis, Santa Barbara, San Diego State, Cal State Stanislaus. Huh. We just might have to pay attention to those things and see if we get any information. But it's slowly approaching 1:25 in the afternoon. If you're on the East Coast, it's 4:30 p.m. and you're probably getting ready to think about going home. And if you want to take me home with you, give me a call 949-629-3820 and join the Abby Kaufman party that is rocking and rolling on the democracyradionetwork.com. I am Abby Kaufman, your somewhat or semi-savvy politically minded host, and we are a home for Democrats, liberals, and progressive thinkers. We want to move forward. I hope that's not too much to ask for. Also, we're the birthplace of Massa, Make America Sane Again. So pick up the phone, give us a call, 949-629-3820, and let us know what things are going on in your world. Or if things are going swimmingly well in your world, give us a call, 949-629-3820, and hit that PayPal donate button and smash the living daylights out of it. Uh, Abby needs a new haircut, right? So keep those cards and letters and donations coming, folks. Uh, and who, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, and all the ships at sea. You like that? Me too. So back to let's keep drumming our way, or let's keep kind of floating our way through the news. Doesn't make sense to kind of rush through things, especially when I'm so enjoying chatting with you guys. Let's see here. Something about conflict entrepreneurs blame for inflaming political violence, and we all know there's a trend: more violence, more violence, more violence. And why do we have more violence? Because it's advocated from the top down. You've got, let's say, the orange orangutan, subhuman uh, being without absent intelligence. You know, anyone making violent threats. It's okay. Oh, I'm just gonna wipe out an entire civilization, and I think that's kind of like genocide, wiping a civilization off the face of the earth. That's right after you committed the war crime of threatening to bomb their infrastructure, their energy plants, and dams and oil refineries. Someone's got to pay for the damage you brought, you idiot. But much like the ballroom, it shouldn't be Trump. It ought to be the taxpayer. Are you seeing a theme here, or am I being not straightforward enough? Can you see? Can you see the blatant? I think isn't that what they call a highway robbery? I'm not really sure what you know what the significance of highway robbery was. Not less it was to mean they were robbing you when you were vulnerable, and not not anywhere near a safe harbor, that you were essentially on the highway. Or I guess what they call it back then, a trail. We had the old the wagons, and then the I don't know, what do you call it, the short where people would take the uh horse train, the horse carriage, cross country or distances. I mean, can you imagine if you needed a wheelsmith, a wheelwright? God almighty. And those guys had to bend and steam the wood and do whatever they could to heat it up and get and pour the metal in there and make the wheel round so they can later cover it with a board or something. Uh, oh, I'm telling you, the people that traveled cross country in wagon trains. You talk about tough. That is tough on a level I cannot imagine. Uh, I mean, if we started at the coast of my hometown of Charleston, South Carolina, I don't think I'd get, I don't know, a mile. I'd just be screaming bloody murder in that kind of a coach. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Isn't that right? Who rides shotgun and who rides coach? Oh, and then imagine the poor schmuck that had to like assist the driver. He had to like man a lookout against a gang of criminals. What, 8 or 10 gang members, and they probably even the war shots probably still fairly decent. So, uh, so you got the driver who's driving his heart out trying to get those horses just anywhere, and you got this one person who's charged with defending against eight fairly decent gunsmen. So yeah, I don't. We know how things can turn out, and all we can say is tomorrow will be a better day. But you know what? We are approaching 1:30 on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026, and we're kind of debating who gets our Taco Tuesday business today. Will it be Taco Mesa? Um, will it be Taco Mesa? Or will it be Taco Mesa? I kind of have to throw La Lomita in there, even though it's I was going to say St. Patrick's Day, but it's not St. Patrick's Day. It was just a regular Taco Tuesday. The most consequential decision a Californian can make is where they're going to have Taco Tuesday. I don't think people, fight it out or anything, but it's always an interesting choice. And that's what do you think, guys? A little too bright in here. I don't usually face the window like this, or my monitor doesn't usually face the window like this, but this was the seat available in our secret undisclosed location, which is going to forever be secret and undisclosed because we are too afraid of getting overrun by George Noory and an alien who looks like Bigfoot from outer space who had a near-death experience. I think that's, or you know what? Maybe I ought to have that as my mystery guest. An alien who looks like Bigfoot, a Bigfoot-looking alien who came here from outer space. Huh. Sounds good to me. I think we can. When was the last time we had a little space alien that looked like Bigfoot and had a near-death experience? Huh? Okay, let's double check the old. This is only for to see we still have contact, and we do. So there's the old Zoiper 5, and you know what? If we are lucky, you live by the Zoiper, you die by the Zoiper. There we go. We got the old phone keypad laid out. If anyone wants to give us a call at 949-629-3820. And we are your home for Democrats, liberals, and progressives on the net. Birthplace of Massa, make America sane again. And, to make America sane again, that kind of implies that we need to cut out the cancer that's here. And there's just no way to describe the Trump presidency otherwise. It's just a cancer. And when the history books are written by people who have a really sound grasp on things, it's gonna be enlightening. How about that, guys? It's gonna be really enlightening because you can either believe what is going on with reality or not. If you don't believe in reality and believe in something else, what does that make you? Delusional, right? Okay. So now that we've established that you're delusional, let's establish another fact. Do you believe that there were some election irregularities in 2020 and that the election was rigged? Oh, yeah, of course I do. I'm like, well, in that case, not only are you delusional, you're a delusional dumbass. And the reason you're a delusional dumbass is because the court, you guys have had over 60 court appearances to try and produce some evidence to go forward. Okay. You guys have asserted voter fraud, rig, right? But where's the evidence? That's right, pal. I said, well, where's the evidence? Well, we ain't got any. You ain't got any. You've been to court 60 times. You've lost 60 times. You still believing this? I said, you are just a delusional dumbass. I mean, it's kind of like the flat earth theory. You can believe the earth is flat all you want, but I can show you pictures and models and different angles. I can just show you where you're wrong. Now, if you want to believe contrary to fact and opinion, then I think that's kind of delusion, being a delusional dumbass. I think most people would be a little hard pressed to disagree. Oh, delusional dumbass, spare me. Uh, we got that horrible postnasal dripping in. Um, it's really bad. I hate this. Um, I went down to the car thinking I had decongestants handy, but I couldn't. They weren't in my glove box where I usually put them. So we're gonna hang here for at least another 25 minutes or so, at least go till 2ish. I would hope that if anybody tunes in, that 2 hours is enough of a representative sampling of what you get if you tuned in for any longer. Uh, like I said, to hope and stop the post nasal drip and maybe even uh, get us a little energy rush. But as far as those energy rush things, I have never. Oh, you know what? I have my democracyradionetwork.com official sticker on my coffee mug. Give us a call or send us an email, united at democracyradionetwork.com, and we'll be happy to send you a couple. So, anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, let's hope this coffee kind of does it. It actually tastes like coffee, and it always throws me off. So today, at least we're able to have a normal morning with going to the sauna and then Starbucks and all that. That's when we do it in sequence, we always have a little more energy for you. Yesterday, I knew it was gonna be bad when 20 minutes in, I realized I still had hit the go live button, which means I want to make the same mistake twice, but I did make it once. Mm. I'm not really a sweets kind of guy, but the mini bunt cake just so happened to be on sale for the low price of $1.20 from the original $3.99. And ordinarily I just wouldn't do this kind of stuff, but again, I do it for you. I get that sugar rush, and it just powers me through until my voice gives out, and then we can bail. Uh, so let's see. Yeah, give us a call if you're from Santa Ana, Irvine, Costa Mesa. So how about Huntington Beach and Fountain Valley? Anybody go to the Guitar Center in Fountain Valley like I do? Oh, and today, ladies and gentlemen, we have the recording studio from 4 till 8 to do something. I doubt we'll play the whole time, but it will be good. And I do have my new cable that lets me plug my guitar directly into my interface. And if I keep talking like that, you'll actually think I know what I'm doing. But of course, we can't have that. Let's see here. Is there anything else you guys might kind of benefit by? Oh, you know what? How about a little true California with the Hollywood Art? And this is the Hollywood Argyles. Alley oop oop, alley oop 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 oop. The alley oop. I'm sure you know where we're going with that, but that's a little bit of the old Hollywood Argyles. And who is that? The Hollywood Argyles? Did you say? Huh. Basically, how that works. Yes, I did say the Hollywood Argyles. Huh, isn't that funny? Every time I seem to say Hollywood Argyles, there seems to be applause. It's as if somebody is punching a button. Huh. We would hope that not to be the case, but you never know. This is your host, Abby Kaufman, your somewhat savvy, politically minded host. And this is the democracyradionetwork.com. Give us a call, 949-629-3820, and let us know what's how the war and inflation are affecting your life, or if they're going really great and they're not affecting your life, then call in and hit the 11 daylights out of that PayPal donate button. Yeah, after all, Abby needs another $125 gas fill up. So anyway, give us a call, 949-629-3820, and share. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinions. If you want to just vent for a while, that's okay too. We'll do it until at least you quit making sense or get tired. One of the two. I'm, pretty flexible, but you can't if you act like a mat. People walk on you, so you try not to be that nice. Let's see here. Oh, and as if we weren't having enough fun in the Strait of Hormuz, it looks like Somalian pirates have taken a ship and strange enough off the coast of Somalia. And now let me tell you something about when the Somali pirates take a boat. They don't, they just kind of drive up and tie up the boat and tow it back in. They board your boat with rope ladders, and whether they slice your head off or not, it's an entirely different question. So when the Somalis pirates seize a ship, it's like a bad scene for the home team, if you know what I mean. A real bad scene for the home team. So, is it, it was imperfect before, and I'll be the first one to tell you that the peace was fairly tenuous, but it held, and it held together because there was commerce, and when people are trading, they're much less likely to fight. Which makes Trump's taking away of Chinese markets just devastating. They get filled by Brazil. What do you say? It's just, uh, I think deep down what we need now are leaders to take us to shine a light on the way out of this. And don't underestimate your local politicians to do this. Sign up with your local Democratic club. Volunteer to do something. Put a sign in your yard. Walk around the block. Don't do more than would make you uncomfortable or unhealthy, but do something. And the biggest part is you'll connect with others that are doing something. You know, and it's like Hillary said, when we work together, we are unstoppable. We have a tendency to let the better be the enemy of the good, but I think we've learned that lesson now. I think that if anybody has shown us the value of party unity, it's the R's. They have shown us what can happen when a minority of votes works together. Imagine what a majority of votes can do working together. That's where we are, guys. We have the majority of votes. We need to be able to deliver them to the polls June 2nd and November 3rd, or whatever it is in November. I just can't I could rail a little more, but nobody, I don't think anybody really likes that, not even me. I think the Somali pirates have probably gotten enough publicity too. So let's see here. Uh, U.S. being something says, huh, I wish I knew. Oh, I know what it is. The U.S. is being humiliated by Iran, says German Chancellor Merz. Does that mean the Iranians are playing everybody for suckers? Yes. Not only they playing for suckers, they're doing it really well. Uh, let's. Oh, how about this? Russian forces defeated in northern Mali after a wave of attacks. I mean, and when these guys attack, it's like machetes and stuff. I don't, it's like those old pirate movies where somebody aboard the pirate ship and somebody else will, slice their, from their belly button to their, neck or throat or chest. Oh, yeah. I mean, we've got to work together. This whole violence department, that's a little too much, a little too dangerous. Let's see here. Oh, this is really nice. There are some private data centers being built, and guess how they're being built? They're being built on mountains of debt. Okay, so you have to sell your bonds. And what do I always tell you about bonds? If people want them, you can pay them less of an interest rate. If they don't want to buy them, then guess what? Then you got to buy a really high. Then you got to pay a higher interest rate to get them to buy them. And if you're the debtor country like the U.S., you probably want to pay a lower interest rate, right? A lower interest rate because there's competition. You don't want where there's no competition. You've got to goose the market by offering, your tier, which is a long way of saying that the grift is so deep. And I'm not going to say it was so quickly, but on the other hand, it was. I mean, the Republicans and the Brookings, I mean, in the, what do you call it? Not the American Enterprise Institute. What's the other one? Anyway, you can rest assured this wasn't happenstance. These guys had a very well thought out plan, and they were ready to hit the ground running, and they did. And look at the result. Well, we've got a chance now to stop them, and truth of the matter is, it may be the best chance we have, because if they don't stop now, they will only get stronger, and that doesn't help. That doesn't help the country, and certainly doesn't help you or me. So we need to pay a little more attention to this stuff. And I know there's not so many hours in the day, and I know everybody's got kids or something at work or whatever it is. And if you don't have the time or anything, God knows everybody understands. But if you can at all help, this is all hands on deck time. This is the expression "leave everything behind" on the football field or on the battlefield. Well, this is it. I mean, if there's ever a time to knock on doors in District 67 for Ada Brisenia, this is it. If there's ever time to stuff envelopes for JJ Galvez, this is it. If there's ever a time for Giovanni and OC, this is it. Same for Kelly Brown and Kara Stewart in Costa Mesa City Council races, Districts 3 and 5. This is our time. We're not going to get there are a whole lot of other opportunities. And the sooner the opportunity, the better the chance. If this stuff is allowed to rot and grow, there's no telling when we might get rid of it. And if we do get rid of it, the cost will undoubtedly be higher than it is now. So now is the time for all good Democrats to come to the aid of their country. Join your local Democratic club. I'd take an hour or so and stuff an envelope or whatever needs to be done. The most important thing is to join the Democratic community and realizing that again, Hillary was right. It takes a village. It takes everybody. It takes every vote possible to show the Trump guys in District 67 that 80% is just a good, honest, hardworking politician. She is what we want, and we're lucky to have her. We do not. We know we have followed your argument, and we have dissected your argument, and you have no argument. You have no policy argument. You obviously don't want Ada elected for any reason. But I'm going to tell you, we have numbers, and we have the candidate, and we have the willingness. Uh, we would kind of jokingly ask you to drop out before you get embarrassed and humiliated, but you probably need to be embarrassed and humiliated to understand how bad things are and how little you guys have actually delivered for your constituents. I mean, I often wondered how even congressional candidates get to go home and try to sell their constituents on the fact that, oh, I helped pass Trump's tax cuts, or I helped Trump increase the deficit, or whatever it is. Uh, you guys just suck, or you Republicans just suck in this deal. The best thing you could have done was vote to impeach him at his first, to convict him in his first impeachment proceeding, and you could have pretty much washed your hands of him. But no, you had, he's just a subhuman being like Mitch McConnell, not giving Merrick Garland a hearing and stealing the Supreme Court seat. Well, I might have to advise and consent, but it doesn't say when. Well, Mitch, you lead by example. And if you think this is going to be a one-way deal, I think you might want to reconsider. Usually, it's the thing, paybacks are bitch. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Democrats take over all three branches of government, that we're going to ram it home 10 times harder than you rammed it home through us to make sure you guys get the message. It's not like you're really the first ones to learn anything. So we're forced to be a little, not punitive, but a little demonstrative. We get to kind of show you what we mean. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what Martha Stewart would probably call a good thing. Even though Martha's doing pretty well these days, hanging out with the old Snoop Dogg and whatever. And you know what? I don't want to know what Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg do together. I cannot imagine what Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg do together. And I mean, that's not true. I can imagine on some level. I just try not to. And but goddamn, you got handed to old Snoop. He is a smart guy. I mean, he literally resurrected rap in his own kind of image, and through Death Row Records. He was West Coast rap for a long time. He is the sugar daddy or the whatever it is. So he's not. I mean, he's a bright guy. I heard that in the little football league teams that his kids played in, that his kids' teams always had the nicest stuff, and that Snoop Dogg was always on the side. He was the coach, and while Snoop undoubtedly was having fun, it's hard for other kids' teams from poor areas to compete against Snoop Dogg without having Snoop Dogg like resources. Unfortunately, that's kind of beyond today, but I just thought I'd run that by you because I am a warm, caring, sensitive human being, if nothing else. Let's see. Oh, boy, how about this? As King Charles comes to visit with Camilla, he gets to address Congress, which is a really big deal. But he's got to acknowledge the divorce. He's got to acknowledge the troubles and the difficulty. I don't know what he'll say and how he'll say it, but he has to acknowledge that things have changed and that the U.S. has forced a reassessment. You guys, I'm sure everybody was relatively happy to carry on until Trump forced everybody to reassess the situation. That old thing about friends don't let friends drive drunk. Well, friends don't let friends dictate to others. And I think we've seen that, if Trump wants to, he just wants to order it. And that's a kingship, a monarchy. That's not what we're about. We left that, remember? We left that for religious freedom so we could go to the church we wanted. We didn't have to go to the Church of England. We could go to I think at that time it was just called the Christian Church. I don't even think it was called the Catholic Church. And just by way of useless trivia, I hope everyone out there knows that Catholic means universal. So it's only when it started to grow beyond the Middle East that it was considered the Catholic religion. How did I know that? God only knows. But I just want you to know that coming up on these last few minutes before 2 o'clock, nobody tries harder than Abby Kaufman to make sure you guys have a really fun time listening in and calling into the Democracy Radio Network. And you can call in at 949-629-3820 and let us know what's going on. And, what do you find really expensive these days? Or if you've done really well and nothing is really expensive these days, then smash the living daylights out of that PayPal donate button and send old Al enough for a set of tires or something these days. His 20-year-old ride can stand some. So guys, it is, as we speak, 1:56 p.m. Pacific time, closing out on 5 o'clock Eastern. And since this post-nasal drip is starting to get almost nauseating, I'm going to head out around a little after 2-ish. You got 2 hours of the best of Abby Kaufman. And I think that that only because I really like you guys so much that we won't subject you to a whole lot more, but I think around the 2-hour mark demonstrates my whatever broadcasting talent I may have and my general approach to being fairly serious, but making the point in a nice way. And every time, every day we make a point when we make a decide, man, woman, how do we do this? And so I was kind of lucky just to have an egg salad sandwich for lunch and maybe a little coffee, but those times are come and gone. And let's see, just out of curiosity, I think them old stock markets have closed, and always good to know who got screwed in the who gets screwed in the old stock market closed these days. Now we have absolutely no mail, which is I can't complain about not having no mail. Let's see what the old Insta wants. Who's that? Oh, that's the Assemblywoman herself. Oh, and how about that? Gabe, the organizer, started following with a message. Okay, well, we'll look into that later, but that's really good. Did we do that? Are we following him? So we doing that? Yeah, okay. We are following Gabe, the organizer. And it all depends what side you grew up on and whether you have the ability to see both sides of the argument. And sure, you got the boss on one side and you got the union on the other. And does the boss exploit the worker? Well, hopefully not. And if the boss does exploit the worker, what tools does the worker have? Well, the workers can organize. So even within the extremely rough parameters that exist, you can see kind of what the battle lines usually come down to. And let's see, we thank everybody for tuning in at noontime on democracyradionetwork.com. I am your semi or somewhat savvy, politically minded host, Abby Kaufman, and we're going to sign out about it's 2 p.m. on Tuesday, April 28th, 2026. And since it's just us, we're going to go ahead and assume that 2 hours of Abby is enough to give everybody a rough idea of the joys ahead. So, guys, this is Abby Kaufman. Thanking everyone for tuning in. It's 2 p.m. and we're going to duck out of our secret location on Newport Harbor in beautiful Newport Beach, California, and wish everyone a really happy Tuesday. Not unlike Ren and Stimpy. Happy, joy, happy Tuesday. And everybody take care, stay well, think good thoughts, and vote Democrat. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.